Let's do this, man. What's up, y'all? MyJack79 here. We just got back from the theater from seeing Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Immediate thoughts. Immediate thoughts of the movie. Magical. Very emotionally impacting. Um, Passion filled. It was a definitely a love letter to all Star Wars fans. You know, I feel like I made the mistake of like looking at the Metacritic and the Rotten Tomatoes. I'm sitting at like a 50% something. I'll call fucking bullshit. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way right now. This is going to be a spoiler-filled video, so I'm giving out my spoiler warnings right now. If you have not seen Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, leave the video right now. I'll give you a second. I thank you for clicking on the video, but I'm here to talk about the movie. And okay, cool. Okay, man, let's get right into it. This is the character development for Rey and her going back and forth between the light and the dark. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The story arc of Kylo Ren's fulfillment of him traveling back to the light from Kylo Ren to Ben Solo. Let me go ahead and say the Harrison Ford Han Solo cameo. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes. I mean, there was a few people around me that was crying as well. I'm not afraid. I'm a grown man, and I'm admitting to all of you now that it definitely brought tears to my eyes, man. That was probably one of my favorite moments in all of cinema this year. I've definitely seen some really good moments, from like in Avengers Endgame to Spider-Man to Alita Battle Angel. The reunion between Ben Solo and Han Solo is definitely one of my most emotional moments in cinema this year, for sure. I loved it, man. Just that whole connection of Leia making the ultimate sacrifice to reach Ben to bring him back to the light. Predictable, honestly, to say the least, but I don't give a fuck, to tell you the truth. Don't, man. It was brilliant. I loved it. I really did. And just then the realization of who Rey's parents were, and then they actually weren't nobodies, but just coming to terms with who they were in their relation to Palantine, and us finding out that she ended up being Palpatine's granddaughter. So holy crap, man, holy crap. It was basically kind of predictable when she shot out lightning from her fingertips, and that kind of that force struggle with Kylo in the desert. So, but man, it's so that's probably your two main key spoilers right there. So y'all still here? All right, cool. Let's keep going, man. So let's talk about Finn and Poe. This is easily my favorite portrayal that John Boyega did of Finn throughout any of the three movies. Loved his performance. I think he was definitely the standout. I feel like it went back and forth between him and Rey as the main protagonist. Really enjoyed his character this time around, man. I feel like they made a wise business decision and kind of took Rose out of a main side protagonist role, kind of put her in more of the background role, and they introduced the new character from the planet that was riding the horses. Forgive me, I cannot think of her name, but I loved her character. I really did. Actually considering getting the action figure of her. Really enjoyed her performance as like a side kind of eventual. I think she's eventually going to be a love interest for Finn if they ever expand upon the universe. So I really enjoyed her character. But then we talk about Poe, kind of get a little bit more of his backstory. He used to be a spice runner. I'm not too keen at that in my Star Wars knowledge. I don't really know what that is. I would assume it's something bad because they made it out in the movie to seem like it was the worst thing ever. But it was cool really to get some of his backstory, to see where he came from and how he ended up with the Resistance. So really cool, man. Let's talk about Leia. Just so sad, man. So sad, but so powerful all at the same time. Just I loved that they showed us that Luke really did train her in the ways of the Force. She just didn't have those Force powers in the Last Jedi, just out of the blue. I mean, they had to explain that, and she did go through the full training of a Jedi. And the reason that she chose to leave her lightsaber on the island was because she saw a vision of it being the end of Ben. So in a way, it's still the prophecies kind of fulfilled itself. But I feel like it was still just such a good closing story arc for the Skywalker family, man. Like I said, the vision of when Leia sacrificed herself to reach Ben, like I said, and then Han made his appearance to Kylo. I'm gonna keep mentioning it, man, because it was so emotional for me. I don't know, like it takes a lot for movies to get me to that point, but I don't know. I feel like the older I get, the more that I allow myself to like feel. This seem weird, so I don't know. The older I get, the more I just allow myself to have an emotional connection to the characters that I've grown up with and grown close to. So I don't know. It was really fulfilling to just allow myself to let go and just feel the emotion that the characters were feeling on screen. Highly recommend doing that, man. I know, sometimes we all try to have like a tough exterior and stuff, but it was just it allowed me to enjoy the movie more so than probably the average person, but just really putting yourself into the shoes of some of the characters and just allowing yourself to feel that emotion. So let's talk about Luke. Luke's Force Ghost appearance. Rey was at her low point. She had just found out, like I said, that Palpatine is her grandfather, and she was, worried about losing herself to the dark side. And she was burned the Star Destroyer that she was in, and she was getting ready to throw the lightsaber into the fire. And Luke just makes his appearance by catching the lightsaber with his Force powers as a Force Ghost. Brilliant scene. Love that, man. So good. So good. It was really good screenwriting right there. I really enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed Luke in this portrayal in the mentor role of pointing Rey in the right direction and giving his thoughts on what she should do and how she should assess the situation. I feel like they did a lot. I feel like they kind of rewrapped and brought his character back to the side of the light, where in the Last Jedi he had clearly had lost himself. I mean, it sucks that we needed a whole movie to explain that, and then it took a whole another movie to bring him back to the side of where his character I feel like should have been in the last one. But I feel like I liked how the character arcs of Luke and Leia ended, about how they reunited as Force Ghost by the end of the film. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. On Tatooine, Palpatine. Now, oh man, speaking of Palpatine, what a return to Sith glory for Palpatine, man. Oh man, definitely very interesting seeing some of those Sith warlord resurrection powers at work, man. Yeah, definitely. Just a few of the quotes that he had, man, saying that he was like a part, like every Sith in existence was a part of him. I don't know, like all of my Star Wars buffs out there, would this technically classify him as the greatest Sith of all time? I don't think anybody else has ever come back from the dead, technically. And like his Sith body, was he a zombie? I guess because he looked really like zombie-ish to me. Like from just the gray, whitish skin to like the zombie eyes. It's really cool seeing his powers manifest in such a way. Thought it was really creative when Rey and Ben came together and he was able to draw a life force from the forced connection of their balance to draw power from that. I thought that was really cool, man. And then just the force lightning that he was able to produce. I didn't realize that his force lightning was that powerful. I mean, I know it was powerful enough to take that one person, but I guess if you're in the middle of a lightning storm, that you can conjure your powers to take advantage of the lightning storm as well. Now, I guess that's a thing. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that he could do that. So I found that really cool too, man. But definitely the how Rey took him down by utilizing Luke and Leia's lightsabers, or their training sabers or whatever. I thought that was a brilliant idea. I feel like I kind of would have wanted her to utilize like a double-bladed lightsaber, because she used her bow staff so much, man. I feel like that would have been a really good idea to do that. But story-wise, I feel like using Luke and Leia's lightsabers was really a fitting end to end of the battle. I'm very curious to see how they're going to do the toys when it comes to Rey, man. It's probably going to be 3 different versions of her. It's going to be one like normal Rey for lightsaber and bow staff. Then it's going to be battle Rey with both Luke and Leia's lightsabers, and then it's going to be after battle Rey with her yellow bow staff lightsaber. It's really cool, man. Really cool. And speaking of that, like her returning to Tatooine to finish the story and bury the 2 lightsabers at the birthplace of Anakin Skywalker was a really beautiful nod to end out the story, man. Beautiful. Okay, so we've talked about all the main characters. Let's hit up Lando. So Lando's return to the film, I thought, was done in a really good way as well. He really had a good mentoring ship to Poe, I would say, and they really developed their relationship throughout the course of the movie, and I really appreciated just the nostalgia is so real in this movie. It's not even funny, man, and I loved it so much. I don't know if I'm ready to say that I loved it as much as like Endgame or something like that, or like Joker. But man, this was a really good year for movies. I'll tell you what, man, 2019 was a really good climactic year for finishing out major story arcs and franchises, man. Just so beautiful. And then let's go back to Ben Solo again. Just the and here's the funny thing too. I honestly think that this part is going to piss off a lot of people. Them finally shipping Ben and Rey, and then right afterwards, and he disappears. Oh. Man, it's brutal. It's like you have our hearts right here, and then take it away, man. It's crazy, man. But I loved just seeing the development of his character, just from him being so angry, so sad, so alone, and just honestly just seeing him still being haunted by the murder of Han Solo is so realistic. He wasn't just some guy that could just turn it on and off like that. He was clearly struggling with his descent into the dark side through the entire franchise of the movies, and he was either just a brink away from being brought back to the light. It's sad that it took the death of his mother and a reconciliation with his father to bring him back, but such a beautiful end to the Skywalker family. But the real beautiful end was Rey denouncing her Palpatine name, and the random old lady asking who she was, what family she belonged to. We officially now have Rey Skywalker. Let's just take a second to appreciate that. Rey Skywalker. I love that. I like it. I like the ring to it, man. It makes sense. It makes sense, because sometimes, friendships that we develop throughout the course of our lives are even somewhat closer than family. Yeah, that's definitely brought to the forefront 100% here, man. Most definitely. Loved it, man. Loved it. So, I think we've covered about all the main characters, man. We talked about Luke, Leia, Han, Finn, Poe, Rose, Rey. I love this film, man, and I haven't watched any of the other YouTuber reviews or like any other Star Wars groups reviews, man. I don't care. I went to the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think if you're an open-minded Star Wars fan, if you just love the movies for what they are, you know, I've been on this channel saying repeatedly that I was not a fan of The Last Jedi at all, but I feel like this movie definitely brought me back into between this movie and The Mandalorian. I'm a Star Wars fan for life. That's all there's to it. I loved it. I really did. If it was anything negative I wanted to say about this film, man, maybe some some of the pacing issues. I mean, I feel like I went a little bit too fast from time to time. You know, every time Rey would get like a forced vision, especially on the ship when Chewbacca got kidnapped and they were going to save Chewbacca, and she was like, "Wait, I got to go do this real quick." And Poe and Finn was like, "What the fuck? Really? We want to save Chewbacca, remember? Isn't that what's most important right now?" Rey was like, "No, I have to go do this right now." So that was a little weird. And then maybe the reveal that General Hux was the spy for the Resistance felt a little bit weird to me. But honestly, that's just just a weak nitpick. I just want to try to even out the review a little bit, man. But if I haven't convinced you that I absolutely love this movie by now, then what are you even still listening to me for, I guess? But yeah, man, don't listen to those reviews of the movie critics. That's fucking retarded. That's all it is to it. I don't get it. What were you wanting from it, man? I don't know. Like as a Star Wars fan, I've been a diehard Star Wars fan for at least past like 10 years or so, man. This is it. This is exactly what I didn't know that I wanted from the film. It was a perfect ending to the franchise. Maybe not perfect, but it was so satisfying. I walked out the theater invigorated and just a pure lover of film. So okay, we gotta wrap this up, man. Like I said, we've been talking 20 minutes. I can talk all night about this. I really could. You know, I don't know if this video gets enough likes, then we'll just keep going, man. I'll make a part 2. But yeah, as always, appreciate everybody watching, man. Yeah, I'm thinking about probably going to go and see this movie again. I really do kind of want to see it again. So, yeah, I'm just rambling. You can follow me at youtube.com/markjackson79. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as always. Love you guys, especially if you love Star Wars. I'm just emotional tonight. This really just left me just so emotional. All right, man. I will see you guys on the next one. Oh yeah, and I got got these two. So I look forward to a video with these here. It's probably gonna be my next vid here. I do have an extra blue lightsaber too. I'm gonna pose this Rey with the cross lightsaber look, man. I can't fucking wait. I'm so excited. So look forward to that. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.